Alright, I'm making this video because on my previous video, the review of the 50mm 1.8G AFS lens, I had a question from a viewer saying that he thought the 50mm 1.8 would not autofocus on a D5100. He had a D5100, which is what I use currently. And I had to explain to him there are two 50mm 1.8 versions right now for Nikon that are still popular. There's a 50mm 1.8D, which is an AF lens, and then there's a 50mm 1.8G, which is an AFS lens. Now, I'm making this video to explain the difference between the AF and the AFS lens in Nikon. So the AF lenses are autofocus lenses, but they will only autofocus on Nikon cameras that have a built-in motor in the camera body. Now, if you look at most of the cameras that are coming out in the 3000, 3100, 5000, and 5100 ranges, these are considered more amateur entry-level cameras, and they do not have a motor inside of the camera body. Well, Nikon has since released lenses that have been popular recently, which are AFS lenses, which means that the motor is actually built into the lens. So even on the pro end bodies, you can actually still use these. There's no need for the motor inside the camera in those lenses. The advantages of AFS lenses that have the motor inside of it, they're much quieter than the old screw drive motor that's inside the camera body I guess that's inside the camera body. Canon has, I think, a similar thing. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not familiar with their lenses. I know that they use ultrasonic motors, which are very similar. But yeah, point being is if you're going to use a camera that does not have an internal motor inside of the camera body, the old screw drive motor, you have to make sure that you get an AFS lens. So make sure that when you're getting the lens, it says AFS, and then whatever focal length you want. That's important. It's also important to make sure that you research if you're going into third-party lenses to make sure that they have an internal motor, because some of those are older lenses too that don't have the internal motor. Just that's basically the rundown of it. I've had both 50mm. When I used a 50mm AF 1.8D, I was just doing manual focus all the time. Still a good lens, and if you notice that the 50mm 1.8D versus the G are a little bit different in size, and the reason for that being is the AFS motor. It needs more space for that motor inside there. So that's pretty much all I have to say about this. If you have any more questions about the different types of lenses that Nikon offers, feel free to ask me, and that's about it.